This is the Faces at the Window, presenting a state-mandated service of amusement for every day of your month. Citizens are not expected to pay for the privilege because your government is cool like that. Day 4. Warning. Listeners with sensitive children and impressionable ears should be aware that this sketch contains a naughty word, although not one of the 4-letter variety.
People of Britain, these are tough times requiring tough measures. And it's often our job as government ministers to make the hard calls which keep the country afloat in what are currently very treacherous economic waters. But it is only the unparalleled inner strength of the British people, remaining stoical in the face of cuts to benefits, indefinitely postponed retirement ages, and a slow dismantling of the NHS. Only that inner strength which gives us the reflected strength to carry on making more cuts and creating more taxes, because we know you'll just take it. And so it falls to me to announce that from this time forward, there will be changes to the waterboarding laws. That's the laws which govern water providers. Nothing to do with torture laws. I don't think we have any laws concerning that, and if we have, no buggers told me. Meaning that a given water provider will now legally own any water at all which exists within the geographical boundaries of its licence. So, as the human body is 89% water, that means you. You will either have to pay 89% of your earnings to your local water provider, or report to their head office and do unpaid work in their canteen 4 days a week. The consequent huge increase in profits for these companies means that we can raise the licensing rates astronomically, so that all that extra money goes to my mates in Russia. However, we are a government which believes in giving something back to the people for the sacrifices they have made. And so your MP will send you a thank you card, personalised to your postcode and printed on recycled paper in Oslo. It's the least we can do. And it's all we can do.
And now for the rest of the news.
And finally, world news. Tutankhamun of the 18th dynasty is under scrutiny this month for failing to reach the afterlife, similar to that of Imhotep centuries earlier. His boat, his belongings, his servant, and even his pet Gila monster, and indeed his majesty himself, were exactly where they were placed in the tomb just 3 weeks ago. The question has been raised that the afterlife may be more difficult to reach than was first thought possible. Although still a very rare occurrence, there have been some 3 to 4 cases in the last 1700 years. Those in question were either lowly princes or royal courtiers and were not interesting enough for a public inquiry. A new debate is raging in the Senate as to whether pharaohs are to be considered gods whilst alive, without first taking a written examination or at least providing some good character references.
If they are all gods, then why have they not all been taken up? I mean, if I went around saying I was God and then remained on Earth after passing on, I'd be a laughing stock,
says Chief Inspector Tutmosa of the Thieves' Constabulary. The case continues.
The faces at the window, providing comedy for
TheFacesAtTheWindow.com